Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we've got another daily dose of dismal Disney for you. We're going to talk about Elon Musk and Bob Iger round 2.
Elon's on a tear.
He is on a tear. Apparently, according to CNN, he's demanding that Bob Iger be fired after Disney pulled ads from X. And I think this is in relation to...
Yeah, but they're not. The headline doesn't give context.
No.
There's context to what he's saying, why he's saying what he's saying.
Right. So what is going on? We're going to talk about this. What's going on is that Disney said that they had to pull their ads off of X / formerly Twitter because of their moral imperative, because Elon Musk said some things they didn't like, and there were apparently people posting things that they didn't like. So they're like, oh, we can't be associated with that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, they're spending all kinds of money on other platforms that are apparently allowing kitty diddling.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly what's going on, but there's a lawsuit in New Mexico alleging that Facebook and, of course, Instagram with it, because they're connected, have done some things or have some content on there that has allegedly led to child endangerment and trafficking. And this has come out. There's going to be a lawsuit, and Disney, meanwhile, and other advertisers are still running ads on Facebook and Instagram. But they won't run ads on X because someone said that he made anti-Semitic comments, which his comments were kind of, but he apologized for it, and then other people came out and clarified that wasn't what he supposedly meant. But the hypocrisy is basically, if they're going to pull it off of X for something that he supposedly said, they need to pull their ads off of Facebook and Instagram when there's a lawsuit about, child endangerment.
Right. So let's talk about this, because this is going to get messy, guys. And I think this is really, at the end of the day, we try not to be too political here on Clownfish TV, despite what people say. But I think this is about politics. I
agree.
We have a messy election year coming up.
They need Twitter. They needed Twitter last time.
They needed Twitter last time. And there's a little bit of personal beef going on, because Bob Iger wanted to buy Twitter. I don't know if people remember that. I don't know if anybody else has brought that up, but he was going to buy Twitter several years ago, and he took a look at it and he said, yeah, we don't want Twitter associated. It's too toxic. We don't want it associated with the Disney brand. But they were seriously looking at buying Twitter.
But they also had no problem running ads on Twitter for years.
Right.
And Twitter was a key element to the 2020 elections. And those who control Musk wants to let there be free speech and be discourse and not silence people unless they egregiously do bad things. And people who control the speech control what people know and are told what they believe. So if there's free speech, people might free think, and that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
So can't have that. And a lot of these advertisers and companies tend to lean in a certain direction.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
All that aside, and we won't, take that out of the equation just for argument's sake. There's still it does come hypocritical. We have to pull from X because of Musk saying some things that we don't feel that's right for our company, but yet you're going to still advertise on somebody who's in a lawsuit. There's allegedly images to prove it, that sexually explicit images were being shown to children and things, and they're advertising on that.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit more about that. We can actually maybe talk about Facebook ads too, because I think they're a scam. Personally, I think they're really doing some underhanded stuff. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
I don't know if I can show these images or not, but they're basically...
I don't want to show the images.
Yeah, just... According to Colin Rugg on Twitter /X, these Disney ads are running alongside of dubious images of children.
Now,
let's put it that way.
Didn't the advertisers pull because they're suing? Was it Media Matters? Because they're claiming that they were showing these similar type images, but they had allegedly messed with the algorithm to make it show up with the ads.
Yeah.
Next to it is the claim.
As I understand it, okay, as I understand it, I haven't done a deep dive into this, but as I understand it, the claim was that this website Media Matters, which is supposed to be impartial and supposed to basically just take a look at sites that are pushing fake news or whatever. It's obviously
fake news usually only leans one way, but
right. Yeah. It's obviously bought and paid for by one side of the aisle, right? So this is the same site that said that Dave Rubin was an anti-LGBTQ bigot, a known anti-LGBTQ bigot when he's married to a dude.
Yeah, but
so anyway.
It's internalized.
Yeah, so they think what they did was, or what they're alleging is they created fake accounts to follow certain like white nationalist accounts and also Disney accounts. So the algorithm would be tricked into showing Disney ads alongside of this other content. And then they went running to Disney and being like, look, you're supporting Nazi stuff. And that's what happened. But really, I think it goes deeper than that. I think it really is about the fact that Bob Iger wants to ingratiate himself further with that side of the aisle. I mean, look at who he was chumming around with at the Bloomberg thing or the New York Times thing. New York Times thing where Musk told him to go F himself. Look who he was pounding around with, right? So I'm just saying. So anyway, yeah, they're alleging that Facebook is doing the same thing. So Elon Musk retweeted this, and he said, crazy that Disney has to be sued to stop this terrible behavior that they're, Iger needs to release the Disney files. How much are they getting pressured to boycott X? Well, that's probably true.
I'm sure that's true. I'm sure that's true as well.
I think that they probably have certain political interests or certain groups or whatever that they might be beholden to financially that are going to them being like, hey, yeah, you can't spend money. If you want to be progressive, if you want to be one of us, if you want us to think highly of your company, Bob, you need to stop advertising on X because that's where all the Nazis are.
I mean, if it's true that then there is a lawsuit, so it clearly is true, Disney should be pulling their advertising. If they're worried about things being a bad look or not being right for their company and they're focused on being a family brand with children, then they really, because I mean, that makes more sense to pull off when it's involving children than it does because somebody, made a comment that they didn't like on Twitter, like they thought it was anti-Semitic. Neither one of those are good. But if you're doing a company that's supposed to be about children, having them, advertising on a platform that's up for a lawsuit about, abusing children probably isn't a good look either.
Yeah, and here's the thing, like you're telling me that Facebook can or does or monitors every damn thing that goes through their instant messenger that I mean
I'm sure it wasn't intentional.
So
I don't know. I mean, okay, I'm sure that the argument will be made that it wasn't intentional, and you're right. There's how many things are posted every second.
Yeah.
There's just no way they're going to catch all of it.
They're laying people off. I'll tell you right now, and before we get into him calling for Iger to be fired, apparently, Facebook is asleep at the wheel right now.
Well, yeah. Well, they can't catch everything, but yet somebody else could do a search and find it all.
Yeah.
So I'm like, then there is no excuse they couldn't catch it. I don't know.
They are, I believe currently they are in dire financial straits. Just our own experiences over the last couple of years. I think they are burning through advertiser dollars. I think that stuff is being shown to bot accounts. I don't think you're really getting what you paid for with Facebook. And the only time that they investigate stuff is if there's like ad revenue to be lost.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I know for a fact, people were complaining about the scams that are going on or scammy accounts that were trying to swindle people out of money and things. And when you turn it into, Facebook for community guideline violations, they're like, oh, nothing here is violated. But meanwhile, they're out there like literally scamming people. I see people getting their account shut down for child exploitation when they posted pictures of their own kids, but it wasn't done in a dirty way. They just put, but then other people are actually posting like things that are bad that they're being sued over, and they're allowed to.
Yeah. So it's definitely. I mean, all of this is crumbling, and again, we have an election year coming up, and it's whoever controls the spice, so we're getting lots of spice out of it. But this is coming from CNN. Elon Musk demands Bob Iger be fired after Disney pulls ads from X. He said that he should be fired immediately. Musk.
Who uses influential perch to bully critics and others? Okay, but what does Iger do then?
Right.
Iger's doing the exact same thing.
He said this is what he wrote about Iger on his platform. Walt Disney is turning in his grave over what Bob has done to his company.
You might say that the other day, yeah.
Yeah, you might actually get your wish, Elon, because we did a video yesterday talking about the pressure that's going to be put on them by their investors, and most of these people are more right-leaning. They're more conservative. They want money. They want profit. And Bob Iger has destroyed the Disney company.
Yeah, he's the one that caused most of the trouble they're facing now.
Yep. Reps for Disney did not immediately respond to a request for comment, but Iger is widely credited for boosting Disney into an oh my God.
Oh, this article is, what's bullshit when they're saying that Musk always bullies people. And I'm like, so does Bob Iger. Like when after Peltz stepped back from his first proxy threat, they fired Perlmutter because he backed Peltz. And we've seen him, use right now, even with Elon Musk and Twitter, he's using it as a way to try to manipulate and bully. The apocalypse on YouTube happened because people like Disney used it to bully to get cheaper ad rates. That he bullies all the damn time. He bullied Hollywood. He gets bullying all the time. But he's just a poor little victim.
Wasn't he the bad guy during the strikes?
Yes, but he's just he was unlike Elon Musk. He never bullies anyone or uses his position to try to manipulate. They're the ones. ABC was the ones telling writers how to get out of the union and telling them they had to violate their contract and keep working or they'd be in trouble. That came from ABC and Iger.
Yeah.
But he never ever uses his position of power to influence or bully other people.
This guy wants a job for Disney or for ABC News. He's like, yeah, he's credited for turning Disney into a juggernaut. Yeah.
Now he's credited with turning Disney into a cesspool of shit.
Yes, and these are all brands that they ran into the ground, by the way. All the stuff he bought, he ran it into the ground.
He bought them, overspent. Oh, it doesn't mention the overspending on Fox?
No, they didn't mention that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fox is worthless. They burned whatever remaining IPs they had left. They burned them to the ground.
Well, CNN is a shill site. So, I mean, not to be mean, it definitely, like when people argue Fox News leans far right or right to the right, CNN definitely leans to the left.
Yeah.
So
Disney, like a slew of other major companies, stopped advertising on X last month. Like a slew. It was some. It wasn't like everybody, but it was some. Musk tacitly apologized for his post. After a flurry of companies ceased their relationship with.
I mean, he should. Sometimes when you do something like that, you shouldn't say anything. But that, a lot of people talk. I mean, Bob Iger stepped in it before. Chapek stepped in it before.
But he simultaneously delivered a profanity-laced message to companies who declined to purchase ads from a social media platform.
Yeah, but you know what? Most everybody agreed with him. They're like, someone told Bob Iger to fuck himself. That wasn't me. So,
Yeah, I think a lot of people actually agreed with him. I think a lot of people would love to tell. Now, if this were still happening during the strikes, I think Hollywood people would have his back and be like, yeah, you tell him, Elon. You tell, now we can't cross Bob Iger because, we signed that deal.
Well, meanwhile, Epcot has a new garden that looks like a vagina, so you can go fuck that, I guess.
Somebody will try.
I'm just, if you want, go to piratesandprincesses.net and take it out. But yeah, they put a flower bed that resembles something else. So I'm sure that they're definitely and then that was after they took the penis chimney down. So they're putting, they put the fucking Epcot. Anyway, continue.
Naked man wearing only mouse ears attempts to fuck Epcot up the ass.
Well, it wasn't an ass. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, it wasn't a mangina.
It's a vagina.
So
anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, so yeah, he told them to go fuck themselves. At the summit, Musk singled out Iger, saying hi. All he said was hi, Bob. He's still in the audience. And they're like, well, we just felt that the association with Elon was not a positive move for us.
But associating with somebody in a lawsuit for child exploitation is completely fine.
Yeah, that's
the double standards that what I'm getting at. I mean, like if you don't want to advertise on someone's platform, you don't have to. But don't say it's because of anti-Semitic comments or that it wasn't a good look for what they wanted to do. But then say you're a family company, and then when their competitor, another social media platform, comes under fire in a lawsuit for alleged child issues, I would think you would step away from that too until you find out what the outcome's going to be and re-examine it.
Yeah, but they can't afford to stop advertising because they'll
probably advertise on this video. Hi, Bob.
Hi, Bob. Yes, this
Go
guy.
fuck yourself.
Lawrence Anderson. So if it was about the disturbing content, they would also pull off of Facebook and Instagram. It's not. It's about a voice for conservatives with Elon at the helm. They really want control of everything.
I don't think any platform should be one way. I think if people should be allowed to have free speech, should be allowed to, I mean, within reason. It's not like, you're out there like threatening people or using it to go after kids or something like that. Too late, Facebook. But, I think people should be allowed to have an opinion either way and have discussion. I think that's what he's trying to do. And they're taking that as, well, you're all right, which is funny to me because would you ever imagine that the Republicans that are right would be the ones for free speech?
No, because it's so weird because back in the day, it was a complete 180. It was very conservative outlets, very conservative people were trying to censor everything. And it was liberals, Democrats that were trying to allow for free speech. And now we've totally flip-flopped. I mean, the goalpost has definitely moved. It's like it's completely unrecognizable now. Like, who are the good guys? I think we basically have bad guys and worse guys in any situation. I think we're, because we were talking about Elon Musk before we did the video, and I don't think he's. I joke, I call him a space daddy, but there's some stuff I don't quite agree with.
Yeah, to be personally, as Kneon can attest, I'm not a huge fan of Elon Musk, but I do think in this situation, I do think free speech is a good idea, and I do think in this situation, I can see why he's mad.
Yeah, in this situation, because it is a double standard, and I do believe the root of this. Regardless of what side of the fence you're on, I think it is political because we know that Disney, especially Bob Iger, who wanted to run for president, remember, this guy had political aspirations, is very, very close with the Democratic Party, as evidenced. Was it Kamala Harris?
Yeah, he was kissed up to Kamala Harris.
I
didn't even know she was still around because you never hear about her.
I know. I thought she disappeared.
They just keep her gagged, I think. But anyway, he was like big deal. They made a big deal how he was hanging out with her. And the thing is, Disney has leaned that way for a while now because of Iger. And then I think they stepped in it with Florida because Chapek wanted to walk it away from politics. And then I guess the chairman of the board, allegedly, was the one who pushed them into doing that. And I think that they need to stay out of politics. I think they need to understand that you have fans on both sides. You have fans that are, not political at all. And I think that constantly stepping into it is not a good way to go.
No. No. A lot of people, outside of politics feel that Disney has lost its way. This guy, they lost itself years ago. It used to be one of the greatest American corporate stories of our history. They've traded creativity and keeping the healthily imaginations of children as their primary focus for propaganda. And they have. They've gotten, it's the point now where the general public, the normies, as we call them, people who aren't looking at this thing and they're not looking at culture war stuff and they're not looking at any of this crap. They stay off of the internet for the most part. They're even looking at the stuff that Disney's putting out. And they're like, at the very least, it's subpar. And at the most, it's definitely political propaganda. And they're...
Well, to be fair, Walt Disney did political propaganda.
Well, that is true. Literally.
if you're going to be fair.
Literally, he did. Exactly.
Yeah,
but we had years where it wasn't.
I think that
really
all of us
way.
Remember the years where it wasn't.
Right.
Well, not all of us, but most of us remember the years where it wasn't.
And it was pretty much, straight down the middle. It was general entertainment for general audiences.
We just make stuff for families, and if you want to come, great. If you want to watch it, great. Yeah. Otherwise, And
it was safe. You could pop in a Disney tape, VHS tape back in the day, park your kid in front of the TV and walk away, and things were fine. And now everything that they put out, parents are questioning it. They're like, what's going to be in this movie? What's going to be in that movie? Where are they going to push in this TV show?
He had another post, Musk had another post up that was funny. It was like he like Bob Iger had dropped more bombs than B-52s.
Oh, God. Yeah, because every movie this year has bombed except for Guardians. Everything they put out this year is bombed. Mm-hmm. They've lost billions of dollars.
I'm not trying to blame it on Chapek. And some of it was under Chapek, but a lot of it was greenlit under Bob Iger.
Yeah, and just from a financial perspective, if you don't have a problem with Disney's politics, just from a financial perspective, I think Bob Iger has to go. Mm-hmm. I think he has to go.
They brought him back.
I think the board has to be dissolved or reorganized or something because the people in charge now are the people that have run this company into the ground. And the only reason that they did well for a while is they were coasting off of the good vibes that the companies they bought already had. Disney didn't invent Marvel. They bought Marvel, and they bought Marvel when the movies were starting to do good, when Kevin Feige already had a plan for Infinity War, and they wanted to get in on that. They wanted to own that.
They bought Pixar and Star Wars. Too. Other people build it all up.
Then they chased out John Lasseter. They bought Star Wars and
screwed over George Lucas.
Screwed over George Lucas, who literally on a silver platter handed them a treatment for where he saw Luke Skywalker's story going. And they're like, oh, that's nice. Yep, he's just some stupid old man. We don't have to listen to him. We know better than he does. We know better than George Lucas about his thing that he made. Just the sheer fucking hubris of it all is what's led Disney to be in the position they're in. But they'll come around. They all bitch and moan. They all complain. And then they all wind up cratering. And this happened with... several media outlets were very angry that Elon Musk bought Twitter. They're like, we're never going to use Twitter again. We're never going to use it. Not only did they go back, but they bought a gold check, which costs like $1,000 a month. So it's like you bitches talk big, but you all wind up coming back. Because where else are you going to go? Blue Sky? Nobody's using that. Nobody's using it. Mastodon? Remember Mastodon? Hey, remember, speaking of Facebook, remember Threads? Nobody remembers Threads.
No,
that was
they
their
don't.
Twitter killer that lasted like a week. So yeah, they'll be back. You know they'll be back. Are we going to wrap this up?
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.